be wrong for me to stay here in a coalition political party to begin to say who I want to support. When we go to that stage, we will have to use our sense, common sense, and every reason available to decide who to support. All these things I have pointed out will be placed on the table, and we'll be able to talk to ourselves truthfully. Are we going for the election, or are we just trying to do something, to satisfy our desire? If we answer it affirmatively, the candidate that will win the election will emerge. And it's by that time that we begin to say, this person has a better chance here, this person has a better chance here, this person, because of this, because of that, let's go this way. These are the things we'll lock ourselves in the room. And the X-ray, that is my position. And whoever emerges at that time, through reasonable and pragmatic consensus building, the ADC can now go to the election. All right.
As I said, it brings me to my next question, which would be the unabashed support by leaders of the Southeast, governors to be precise now, for the current president's aspiration to return in 2027. If you go to Enugu, the governor is talking about aligning with the center, the need for the Southeast to align with the center in order to get development. Even in Anambra, your state, which is APCA, the governor is in support of Mr. President. You could talk about Imo as well. The governor is perhaps one of the most astute supporters of Mr. President. What does that do to the long-held aspiration of the Southeast to produce, a president for the country?
Thank you very much. The long aspiration of the Southeast to produce a president for the country. With that statement you have made, you can see that those who have taken a hasty decision endorsing the current president for the slot in 2027 have not taken into consideration what their people have been yearning for over the years. And I can tell you that the Southeast people are very wise people. This is not the first time people have gone a different, leaders have gone a different way. Then the masses and the voters will go a different way. It happened in 2023. If you remember, some sitting governors in 2023 lost their elections because of Mr. P2B being the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. At least in Enugu, the governor ran for senatorial election and lost. In Abia, the governor then, Ikpeazu, ran for senatorial election and lost. In Cross River, Ayede lost as an incumbent governor. He ran for senatorial election. So when people come together and say, we are deciding for the people, they are making a mistake. And since that endorsement came, I've been reading the comments of a broad section of people from the Southeast. The people have been condemning their action as being hasty, because politics will be based on what you get. They ask questions, what have we got that will make you to come and tell us this is what you want us to do? Governors are 5 in number. Even all of them decide to endorse the current president, that will not guarantee victory for the current president, because the majority and the large majority of the Southeast people know what they want. And when you have a credible, free and fair election, all these people will lose deposits in their various polling booths and wards. They will struggle. So what we are saying is that people are entitled to support a candidate of their choice. Those in APC are entitled to support the candidate of their choice. Even in 2023, the governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer Dave Umeh, who is a very strong and current supporter of Mr. President, Minister for Works and Housing, in that election, he did everything to get Ebonyi people to vote for the APC. They refused, and P2B won landslide in Ebonyi State, defying their governor. So it's going to be a repeat unless the environment or the circumstances do not present itself. Circumstance does not present itself for that action to be taken. I tell you that if the needful is done, don't bother about endorsements. Even Mr. President himself knows that those who are assuring him of votes of the Southeast cannot deliver it if the circumstances do not change, you know. So we are not losing sleep over that, because we don't begrudge anybody who wants to be president, even the president that's seeking for second term. We're not begrudging him. But we have critical assessment to make about how the Southeast people have fared under his presidency. Yes, these are the questions, and you must provide answers to before you begin to think about the votes of the Southeast people.
All right, Senator.
We have so many issues that must be dealt with, yes. Well, a lot has happened over time. And before I go there, let me also correct the impression that only members of the Labour Party moved with P2B to the ADC. The Southeast political leaders of various political affiliations came together to look at the situation and decided to move to the ADC. We have Senator Baribe from Abga. He moved with us. We have Meki Hedioha and Achiku Denwa, Senator Sam Egu. All of them were of the PDP, Onyemuge Chukwu of the PDP. So all the active political players in the PDP in the Southeast decided to come together with all other people to move to ADC. So it wasn't just a section of Labour Party going to the ADC. All of us are from different political parties. So having said that, on the issue of whether P2B stands a chance to become the presidential candidate of ADC instead of becoming vice presidential candidate, I'll tell you that such question does not arise because it is for those who are saying that it's only a particular person that can become the presidential candidate of ADC that are the people that should be questioned. In a democracy, what you should be thinking about is what the people want, what will make ADC succeed in that election, not who wants to fly its ticket. Somebody may be in a position to get the ticket and fail the election for many other extraneous reasons. So if ADC is going into this election with the coalition of forces that have come into it to bring the party into place, what they should be talking about will be how do we defeat the ruling party, which is a very strong behemoth now in Nigeria, a party that has 30 governors already defected to its fold. The National Assembly has almost been depleted to, the opposition parties have been depleted to almost nothing. Everybody has moved to the APC. And you formed a coalition of political parties and other forces to go and challenge this party. What you should be looking at will be, what will you do to capitalize on the missteps of the ruling party that is large in size, in resources and everything? I don't think it's a venture you will go to without looking at those who want to fly your flag as presidential candidates. It's not just to get the ticket. Are you going to win the election? Are the Nigerian public going to follow you? Are the situations on ground favor you? Or the sentiments, even though people will say there's no sentiment in politics, but Nigerians are wise enough to make decisions that are very proper in line with the prevailing circumstances. So I don't believe that somebody cannot be defeated in a primary or in any process. So it's left for the party, this ADC, to find a way to strategize and come up with a candidate that can stand this election and win it. Somebody who the Nigerian public will accept as a candidate to be a very credible alternative to the ruling party. If you are not able to do a self-search inside the ADC to find somebody who the Nigerian public will follow, Nigerian public will trust, Nigerian public will believe, and support the person to be a candidate, then you are not in the election. Because it's either you obey the citizens in their quest and search for a credible alternative to the ruling party, or you don't go to the election at all. It's not about bringing people together and then you make noise and suddenly you lose your senses to take a flight of view. And then you go and present a candidate that the Nigerian public will not trust, they will not believe, they will not vote for. Then you go and say APC must go. APC must not go unless you have a candidate that the Nigerian people can follow.
If I may come in to quickly follow up on what you're saying, I wonder if I catch your drift. If I do, you are subtly canvassing support for Mr. Peter Obi, who, by the way, has said with certainty that he will be on the ballot in 2027. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, another party bigwig in the ADC, now that's a traditional runner for the office of the president, is Mr. Atiku Abubakar, who says no aspirant will step down for the other during the primaries. Now, I've also asked Mr. Peter Obi's aide, that will be Alhaji Tanko, who says that if Mr. Peter Obi doesn't win the primary ticket ahead of 2027, that he will abide by party rules. So what's the game plan in all of this if we're hearing this seeming, I don't want to call it discordant tunes, but tunes that do not necessarily agree? So what's the game plan if Mr. Peter Obi does not win the presidential primary ticket for the ADC in 2027? Is he going to defect yet again?
Well, I think you came to the conclusion by yourself that I was making a case for Mr. Peter Obi. I was only laying out the conditions and the situations that will have to prevail if ADC wants to win the election. If by the criteria I have set out, you think that they fit Mr. Peter Obi, then so be it. But I want to tell you that in politics, you don't joke. And there are things you don't even say. Because what should be driving what you say will be what will make that your party to succeed. In ADC today, we have so many strong politicians and gladiators operating inside it. You have Nasir El-Rufai, you have Rotimi Amechi, you have Atiku Abubakar, you have Peter Obi. All these people are known to Nigerians over time. And if I tell you about winning an election, I think winning an election is the only thing that will make a party succeed and survive. If you don't do your calculations well, and you hope to go and defeat the ruling party have given you its strength, you'll be wasting your time. And we have to listen to the people. So I won't step down, or this person will not be here, this one will not be the language. I think that what will happen is that the ADC should set up a strategic team that will be able to call everybody together, irrespective of what you are looking for. You have to go into a room and lock yourselves up and decide whether we are going to challenge APC. If we are going to challenge APC in this coming election, who has the chance to win the election in accordance with public acceptance and opinion? If you do it critically, dispassionately, and you're able to come with one candidate that can do it, then you go out and match the APC strength for strength, because the people remain the strength, the voters, not the number of governors you have. But if the FDC makes a tragic error of not paying attention on how they can take steps to win the election against the APC, it will be a conglomeration of people that have no mission. And having said this, I'll tell you that ADC has a chance to follow different options in arriving at their candidates. One, they can do a consensus building. When consensus fails, now you go to the issue of a primary for voting. For APC to win this election, for ADC to win this election, the best option for them is to go in and lock themselves and attempt a consensus first. If they're able to achieve it, which is possible, but it's possible that within the time allowed, still available, everybody will be discussed with, people will come to terms with reality, and egos will be massaged here and there, and you put the mission ahead of you. What is the mission? The mission is how can the ADC defeat the APC? If they cannot answer that question, and they go their different ways and drag everybody into the field to fight for who has the biggest money to spend, to buy delegates, and they match the candidate of the party.
So
when that happens,
if your proposal,
the APC
were to be
a
followed,
stronger position.